So hi, I'm Brian. You all know me already. I'm here to talk about VPNs and kind of encourage their use. We heard a lot of neat speeches today. Some people encouraging speed limits, some people encouraging awareness about cancer, other awareness about the pay gap. I'm sharing with you VPNs. Everybody uses the internet for something or some reason. Who does their banking online? Check their email, Facebook. All of those rely on a technology called HTTPS. It's that little lock symbol that pops up and lets you know that that connection's secure, which is really cool and good when you know that wherever you're at is safe and you're only worried about what's beyond at home. Well, when you travel and you're outside of your home, things aren't quite as safe, and we take certain things to protect ourselves. When you travel, you should do the same. Certain kinds of attacks, that little HTTPS signal isn't quite as safe as you think. The moment you leave out of home and you're using somebody else's network, you're hoping that that person isn't doing anything to mess with that. In 2 minutes here, this gentleman demonstrates exactly how your companies at work do, using professional software, monitor and make sure you're not stealing company secrets to give away. The same attack he's using to show you somebody taking your Facebook account. This applies to every HTTPS secured website online today. He runs a little bit slow, and some of this is in Spanish, but I'll walk along through you a little bit. He's showing you what computer he's on now, and this is a virtual machine that's pretending to be a Windows machine. This is you. Now, you're a bad guy here, chooses somebody in the coffee shop, anything coffee shop, or your company does this to all of the computers that you work on already. He gets this set up real quick. And he's now chosen the person's computer and his computer and start capturing. He's using a plugin called Firesheet. This is something any of you can download and do the exact same thing. It adds on a tool for that, taking out the secure section on top of it, but all of you guys can do this at home, and there's instructions on the internet if you care. Now back to our victim's machine here. The person goes over to Facebook, has a short second logging in, connects happily, and notice it's running a little bit slower than the first time they logged in. Comes over here, and here is the attacker now, has gone through and has a copy of everything. And here is back on the attacker's machine. They go to Facebook. And Firesheet on the left over there has the other person's Facebook credentials, not logged in. Click, and now here they are. They have your account, and the little lock symbol is still happy and okay. Kind of a scary thought. And this problem here applies to every business network, every coffee shop, every airport, even at home. However, though, usually at home you're the only person on your Wi-Fi. As long as you trust yourself, everything should be okay. You also run into the same kind of thing, not necessarily in a malicious way or a business sense way, but when you go to Starbucks and it pops up and you're trying to go to Facebook and it's asking you to sign in, that's session hijacking. It's the exact same thing that goes on here, but it's being applied for a usual, less malicious purpose, or to keep track and get you to pay for your internet access, or let you know that, hey, you're at Starbucks, please be polite, whatever is necessary they require on their end. Sorry. It's not necessarily super scary right off the bat, but you probably expected something a little bit more. If you're on your bank and you're logging in, you're moving money around, or you're checking how much money you got, you hope that the person in Starbucks can't see that. You probably don't want your boss to see that, or person on the street to see that. And when you're at the ATM, you usually cover up the keypad, and we can do the same thing online. Virtual private networks creates your home network and kind of creates a tunnel. So like all this HTTPS stuff and your banking and everything's inside of it. I can mess with this here because I can see what's going on. If it's inside the virtual private tunnel, then you can't mess with it. You know that there's a tunnel there, but I can't see inside of it. So I can just turn off your internet access, worst case. Businesses use this so that way this very same attack that goes on here, while somebody is visiting from out of town or to talk with them, can call back from a opponent company or from a customer company and talk to their own company and privately and work out business deals without them seeing what's going on. And home users, I've started using this. There's an article in Forbes right now to get around things like Netflix not letting you see Canadian TV shows, or YouTube not letting you see videos outside of the United States and that kind of stuff. So there's uses for it just beyond business and safety. Here on campus, using a VPN will actually get you faster speeds because we do quality control, where we slow down certain kinds of traffic. So academic traffic, like research and data transfers within the university, can go faster. If you're just in this blank tunnel, though, the virtual private tunnel, I don't know what kind of traffic you're using. So I just have to let it go at regular speeds since I can't see what's going on. There's a lot of options for VPN providers out there. They all provide slightly different kinds of services. And the EFF has a website which is all about choosing the right one for you. If you're worried about higher security and the kinds of things for that, there's one for you. I recommend private internet access. If you're more interested in watching Netflix videos or YouTube videos from while you travel or something like that, there's cheaper or free versions that do the same thing. Some of them are even really easy plugins, browser plugins, just like Firesheep here. So it's really easy, you guys don't have to think about it, but provides you that same level of protection. These are different than proxies, like you guys may be familiar with already, where a proxy just grabs your internet traffic and pushes it through to look like it's coming from somewhere else. VPNs grab everything. It is the super highway of your computer that's just for you. As more people like to pick up VPNs and we start to use those, or as those expand, if you guys choose to add to that, other advantages happen. People are just safer online, less attacks online, criminals make less money, they can afford to keep doing their thing, and we worry about less malware. Or media companies can't control who sees what from where, and we don't have to go through this hoop for too much longer, or to be able to see our YouTube videos, or stream Canadian Netflix, or anything else that you may want to do, because they just can't tell where people are coming from. They have to move to some other way to monitor it, or some other way to see it. And we get to help shift from piracy to just every access as that kind of market shifts. Now, VPNs aren't necessarily super complicated technology, but they are really, really old. Back in the 1990s is when they first decided that we need to figure out how to talk from one computer to another with all its traffic really safe, and they established instructions for doing that. During that time, though, the internet was still fairly new, and coming up with a whole new method for securing that would have been really weird and clunky and had a lot of problems that we'd have to sort out. So they got lazy, and they copied what the government does for talking to embassies and for talking to military units and all that, using either asymmetric or shared keys over what's known as Diffie-Hellman. And there's a neat article about that written by Moser, who is one of the first people to help work on that protocol in application to the internet. You can actually read the original research paper on how to apply that for VPN traffic and like if you want. But it essentially is a way to do secret handshakes while everybody's listening and share information between the palms, so that way you can talk to your VPN provider and be safe without necessarily everybody else hearing it. This is the exact same technology we use for talking to embassies in like Russia or China, where security is a really major concern because we have really, really important international talks and trade and communication, and we don't necessarily want everybody to be privy to while that's all still being worked out. If it's good enough for them, it's probably good enough for home banking. It's also much stronger than HTTPS. 2,000-bit keys is standard for the RSA cryptography that most VPNs use, versus you're using 128 or less for your regular little bank lock. Some are as low as 40 bits, which you can come up with the key with and the password on your home laptop, and most likely your smartphone nowadays. VPNs are kind of cool technology. They both provide extra safety, like you would expect with that little lock when you go and travel. They also provide you the ability to see online content without restrictions, get a little bit faster access, and torrent to your heart's content without concern. I think that they're really neat, and they're really cheap if you want to get one. I like private internet access. It's like $1 a year when you get it on sale, and it's really easy to install on your computer. I'd recommend its use, but thank you for hearing.